this week's Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Neil. And as you can tell, Neil is from AmaWaterways, and I am really excited to look at all the exciting things that he's going to be talking about. Now, I've had the opportunity to meet with Neil a couple times, I think 2, maybe 3, I'm not sure, but I do have a playlist on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, go to the playlist and look at all the other episodes that we have. If you're listening to this on our podcast, head on over to YouTube and you'll be able to see all the images there. So over to you, Neil.
Great. So thanks. Good to see you again, Kathleen. So I know we did this before, which is a lot of fun. It's always fun to talk about AmaWaterways as a brand. And of course, the trend for river cruising, which is extremely popular, as you know. It's a great way to travel and such. So yeah, Kathleen and I chatted. We thought we'd actually zero in on a few things that are exclusive to AmaWaterways. So in case you listened to our last presentation, of course, we talked about AmaWaterways in general, how we're dedicated to river cruising, and we're the only company whose sole focus is river cruising. We don't have an ocean cruise division to worry about. We don't have a coach touring division to worry about. We are focused on bringing the best luxury river cruise experiences out there. So we discussed that overall, but I thought this is going to be, I'm going to talk about 3 things today that are exclusive to us, that nobody else has. And it really will show our true dedication to always kind of being the innovators and the leaders of the river cruise world. So the first one you are seeing on the screen right now is a one-of-a-kind ship. It is called the AmaMagna, and our owner, Rudy, it was kind of his, let's say, his pet project, his little dream for about 7 years to bring out the world's largest river cruise ship. Now, I know, Kathleen, a lot of your guests have cruised on the oceans before, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So, and this is the trend that we always find, is that ocean cruisers, once they go on a cruise, it's a really interesting fact from CLIA that 93% of people continue to take another cruise vacation. So I follow that trend as well. Obviously, I've done the Caribbean, I've done Alaska, I've done the Med. You've probably done all of those too, right, Kathleen?
Absolutely. Yeah, they're all on my list. If I haven't quite made it over to the Med, but I'm looking to go there in June. So it's coming up soon. Yeah.
Nice. Well, this is the trend that we see, is that people have done those. And what they do is they want to continue cruising, and they're looking for their next evolution in cruising. So this is where river cruising starts to come on the radar for a lot of cruisers. But sometimes cruisers will look at river cruising thinking, am I old enough for a river cruise? Am I ready for a river cruise? There's not going to be enough to do on a river cruise. All of these kind of obstacles to going on a river cruise. So Rudy knows all about this, and that is where the dream of the AmaMagna came up. So it is the world's largest river cruise ship ever to be built, twice as wide as the regular river cruise ships, meaning that she has twice as many amenities and features. So we are known for having those beautiful signature twin balcony suites. So the kind of the perfect balcony experience. You've got the indoor and the outdoor, but a lot of those boutique ocean cruisers who are used to having multiple restaurants on board, pools and multiple lounges, choice of entertainment, look to river cruising thinking, no, maybe I'll do it in a few more years. I just don't think it's giving me the same experience. And this is really what the AmaMagna will now provide. So she has 4 restaurants on board. These are all included, and these are different menus in each of the restaurants. And we also make sure everybody gets a chance to dine in each and every one of these restaurants, because we won't actually take second reservations from guests until everybody else has made their first reservation into the various restaurants. One is an alfresco dining experience. That's the one you see in the bottom left-hand corner. So that is truly taken from boutique ocean cruising world. You've got those ceiling to floor windows on the beautiful days. If we are a docked in port, we'll actually open the windows up. We've actually got retractable sunroof windows as well. So it's a beautiful indoor, outdoor dining alfresco experience. So more of a Mediterranean flavor to the menu. So really, really unique. And I guess it seats about, if I'm trying to remember, maybe about 32 guests. So, and it's open for lunch as a casual dining setup, and it's open for dinner as well. So, and then of course, we've got the chef's table on all of our ships. We've got the main restaurant. It has breakfast, lunch, and dinner served in there. And we've got the chef's table. That also exists on the AmaMagna, but also on the AmaMagna, we've got a restaurant called Jimmy's. And I like to say it's like a pub style, family style restaurant, where basically you would take the menu that is in the main restaurant, where you have all of these beautiful choices, right? And sometimes you look at these menus, it happens on the ocean ships as well. And you're like, oh, wow, I like that. Oh, and I like that. Oh, and I like that. And you can't decide what to order.
Right.
So this is the setup for Jimmy's, is that what they're going to do? You're sitting at a table of maybe 4, 6, or 8 guests, and they basically put down family style portions of every single thing on the menu in front of you. So you can sample it all. It is extremely popular because I can tell you right now, a lot of times I'll sit there, I'll seem like a bit of a pig, and I'll go, I would like that main and this main because I can't decide and I want to taste them both. So Jimmy's is the perfect answer. You get to sample and taste absolutely everything on the menu. So, and I think it seats about 30 guests, 30 or 32 guests as well. So again, really kind of nice, intimate dining, and they're all included. So, and then of course, it's got a rooftop heated pool. It's got a hot tub, and it's got multiple lounges. So you've got the main lounge, which of course, all of the river cruise ships have. Now, in all of our other ships, we've got a little cafe and we've got a smaller library lounge, but this one has another lounge and it's got a private movie theater. So you've got all these different kind of options, again, just like you would find on those beautiful boutique ocean lines. Now, we only added another 40 guests, so it's 196 passengers. Our regular ships have 156. Now, some of you listening might not be aware, but Kathleen will certainly know that 196 guests is still not a lot for a river cruise ship having twice the size, because some of the regular 4-star river cruise lines have about 182 guests. So with double the space, we're only adding another 14 passengers. And that's because the size of the suites are unheard of for river cruising. They start at 355 square feet and go up to 710 square feet. Wow. That is ocean ship standard size. And folks, if you live downtown Toronto, that's bigger than some people's condos downtown Toronto. So
absolutely. Yes. Goodness gracious. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
really a good.
It can only cruise on the Danube though, because the Danube is the only river that has locks big enough to take a ship that size. But the nice thing is that 80% of first-time river cruisers tend to choose the Danube. So it is a great entry into river cruising. So we wanted to highlight that today. Is something that you would never have seen before with river cruising. So
fabulous.
Yes. Well, let's talk about something else that's exclusive to AmaWaterways. And this is our 7-river journey. Now, again, those of you listening out there might know that those beautiful ocean cruising cousins of ours have been doing these, what they call world cruises, for a number of years. And it could be from 30 nights up to 180 nights. I think I saw something that was recently came out. You might have heard, Kathleen, I don't know. I think one that was 270 nights possibly with Royal Caribbean. So
yeah.
Again,
incredible.
These are incredible bucket list cruise itineraries and very popular. So we had a number of our guests say, well, why don't you guys do like a world cruise on the rivers? And we're like, oh, we never thought about that. Yeah, why not bring it out? So we did.
There you go.
7-river journey. It debuts in 2023. And basically, it is 7 rivers. It's 14 countries. It's 46 nights. Now, we honestly had no idea how this would sell. It's never been done before in the world of river cruising. So it came out, the departure was June 1st, 2023. We launched it in February of last year. Now, within 4 days of us officially releasing it, it was 96% sold out. So we had no idea. So what does any good company do? We added 2 more departures. So we have a spring, a summer, and a fall sailing. They're slightly different in that they might be, the spring one obviously is more time spent in the Netherlands and Belgium when the tulip time season is on. So, so 7 extra nights up there, 7 less nights in France. Slight changes, but very, very popular cruises. So we're very excited at the response. We have 3 of them. There is still space on mostly the fall sailing. I think the spring one's about 90% sold out, and the fall one was the last one added only a few months ago. But I think it's at about 60% occupancy as well. So
yeah, and that tells you the pent-up demand of people who just want to get back out and to sail, to get out on those rivers and to enjoy. And to offer something like this is a great way to see the entire continent, really. All the way through all those rivers, probably not the continent, sorry, but all the rivers anyway. Yeah, incredible.
No, but you're right. I mean, this is what we've found is that because a lot of guests haven't been able to travel for the last 2 years, there's a pent-up demand and people are wanting to travel for longer periods of time. So this was a great journey. It takes care of it all. But we have a lot of guests who are taking advantage of our combination cruises, which means, yeah, we've got 7-night cruises and we've got 14 nights, but a lot of guests are saying, I want to be over in Europe for 3 or 4 weeks. Can I do a river cruise for 3 weeks and maybe do a land package for 7 nights? Very easy. So anyone listening, if you are looking for something that you don't necessarily see on our website or in our brochure, just go to Kathleen and say, this is how many days I want to be on a ship. I can work with her. We've actually got an app that will sit there and plug in the main cruise that you want and give you all of the other options that you can add on around it. And the great thing about that is that in addition to whatever the early booking offers are on those cruises, you're going to get another 10% off every subsequent cruise that you do. It's our combination cruise discount, and they don't have to be done back to back. You could do a cruise, 5 nights in between and go stay in a place, then join another cruise, and then some time off and join another cruise. Basically, we consider them combination cruises as long as they're on the same trip over to Europe. So if you're going for a month, you want to do 3 cruises and with some breaks in between, easy to do. So
Absolutely. Great.
And then the last one I really want to talk about, again, was a product we developed and invented back in 2009. And if there's anybody listening out there who are wine lovers, this is a really unique product. Now, this is the brainchild of this lovely lady here named Liz Barrett. And she worked with our owners to basically say, I don't understand why river cruising doesn't have more tours which revolve around the history of wine. Because yes, as we know, we all love wine, but wine actually relates to the history of Europe over the centuries. It's been used for medicinal purposes. It's been used as market value for trade and all sorts of really unique things. It relates to the history, and the chateaus and the castles are all incredible throughout Europe with these great wineries. So her idea was to bring a North American wine host onto a couple of our cruises, have them bring their wines from North America, which are considered the New World wines. And then on board, they're going to do some lectures, some hosts, have some wine paired dinners, and compare them to the old world wines of Europe, of all the areas that your guests would be traveling through. Again, much like the 7 River Journey, we had no idea what the response would be to these kinds of wine cruises. So we started with 2 of them in 2009. This year, we're operating 64 different wine river cruises. So obviously, it's become very popular. And folks, I will tell you right now, you get all the same great inclusions that AmaWaterways has, but you get some additional inclusions. There's 2 to 3 additional wine tastings on board, from the New World wines to the Old World wines. You've got that wine host on. So they're going to give some lectures and stuff on board, tell you all about these, and they'll do a special wine paired dinner as well. Now, these generally go during shoulder and low seasons is when we're having them. But again, no additional cost to them. You're just getting these extra bonus perks in there. And I can tell you right now, you do not have to be a wine connoisseur. This is great. Kathleen and I had a little chat before we started this session, because all I know about wine is one is red and one is white. Beyond that, I couldn't tell you anything. I drink beer. But I've done these wine cruises and they are fascinating. It actually educates me on the basics of wine, but it really explained a lot of how the history of wine relates to Europe. So it was incredible. And yes, the age range for these wine cruises tends to be a bit bigger. Now, normally with AmaWaterways, because we have all of these different activities and different levels and such, our average age range is probably guests in their 40s up to people in their 80s. But the wine cruises is even bigger. It actually stretches down to guests in their late 20s and 30s due to the interest in wine, and all the way up, of course, to your guests in the 80s as well. So much bigger range that you've got. And it really appeals to a lot of winery, wine club members, things like that, who really love that share of wine. And it's more of a social atmosphere on board. Because if you've been members of a wine club or if you've gone to a winery, you'll notice that it's a very social experience. And that's really what translates over on board the ships as well. So, and yeah, like I said, great product. We actually have a standalone brochure for these wine cruises. And so we're very excited. And of course, doesn't have to be a wine hosted cruise. We even do wine groups for some of the Canadian wineries and stuff as well. So.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I love that it doesn't have an extra upcharge to it. It's definitely the same price as your regular cruise. You're just getting more inclusions in it.
Yeah. And like I said, it does tend to be in shoulder season and low season. It's not in our peak sailing season, because obviously those are very popular, they sell very well, but also it goes in line with harvest times for wines. So this is where, the wine host can't necessarily get away in the summer and the peak times where they are having to work at their winery. So this works hand in glove with both, but it also allows them, they have a lot of connections with the European wineries. So when they're going on these tours, they've kind of talked to these people ahead of time. They know that it's a special wine group coming. So even on the regular tours, there's usually some extra things that are included because the wine hosts have made that connection with the wineries that they know as well. So yeah, it's a really unique experience. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So those are the products I want to kind of highlight. They're very different. They're very unique. Like I said, exclusive to AmaWaterways. And I can't remember, Kathleen, last time, did we talk about our exotics or did we just focus on Europe with the river cruising?
I believe it was just Europe. I'd have to go back and double check, but I'm really sure it was specifically Europe.
Yeah. So I guess I will end the little thing, even though these aren't, I don't have slides up for them. Just so you know, AmaWaterways, like I said, they focus on the rivers and not just the European rivers. We do have rivers outside of continental Europe. Again, very unique experiences. And this could probably be one that Kathleen and I save to go into more detail in another chat. But folks, we have our own ship on the Mekong River in Southeast Asia. Stunning experience. We actually have our own ship on the Chobe Rivers for a wildlife African experience. It's really unique. And we just launched our own ship on the Nile River just this past September. Beautiful experience. Go down to Egypt, of course. And our newest one will come out in early 2024. Will be the first river cruise line ever to have our own ship on the Magdalena River in Colombia for a South American wildlife experience.
Wow.
So those are little teasers for future chats with Kathleen and I. So
or good research to look into and say, I think I want to go to that. And then you give me a call and we'll get you all set up and get you over there. I love the idea of the Africa one, because so often, you go on those safaris and those tours and they say, you know what, I can't promise you're going to see an animal, but you might. Whereas with the river cruising, that's their watering hole. They're all going to be coming down there. So there's no reason that you're not going to see them.
I know I love talking about that one because, we can actually sit there and say, we can guarantee that you'll see all the wildlife in this area. And no company can ever say that because like you said, that's the watering hole. They are there day and night. You're on this beautiful little ship. It's the Zambezi Queen. There's only 14 cabins, 28 guests. So you're sitting on the top sun deck and you're within, feet of the shore. Those animals are right there. The pictures in our brochure, about 80% of them are taken by guests. It's incredible how close you get. So,
wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for putting all that together. And I know now what we're going to talk about when we meet in fall. So that's wonderful. And I hope everybody has a great week and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you so much for watching this week's cruise chat with Neil from AmaWaterways. It was really, really cool to see that new itinerary that they have where it covers all 7 rivers of Europe. That is absolutely unheard of. And I love their new ship, how they have that new ship that they doubled the size of the ship, but they only added 14 more passengers. So all that means to you is you're going to have a lot more space per person, which is phenomenal, especially in this post-COVID world where everybody has gotten used to having the 6 feet distance, and your own space. So that's kind of neat. Next week, I'm going to be meeting with Hurtigruten, and I know that I said that incorrectly. I apologize if you're listening to this and you know how to pronounce it right. But anyway, we're going to be meeting with them, and we're going to be covering some of their super exciting itineraries as well. If you enjoyed this week's cruise chat, make sure that you've subscribed to our channel. I meet with a different cruise line every single week, and I really, really would love if you would just subscribe to our channel so that you would get the notification when a new episode comes out. We also announce them on our Facebook page, but if you subscribe, then you don't need to worry about logging onto the Facebook page. Does she have it out yet? Doesn't she? You can just get a notification instantly. So make sure that you've subscribed. Thank you so much for watching this week, everybody, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.